And for anyone watching, we have the Ward Melville girls 4x8 team here with us today. They ended up running 9:17 at the end of their indoor season. And today we're going to hopefully talk a little bit about what their expectations were going into the season, what it was like to run the number 12 time in the country for an all underclassmen team. And then hopefully they can tell us a little about what they're doing moving forward, as well as play a Kahoot game to see who is the best teammate and who knows each other the best. My name is Pat Donnelly, one of the counselors at Running Works. We've got Sam with us here as well, as always.
Hey,
And then, girls, if you wouldn't mind, and Coach, introducing yourself before we get started, that would be awesome.
I'm Emma. I'm going to be a senior this year at Melville High School in Long Island. And I've been running for 2 years now. So.
And your turtle's name?
And my turtle's name is Squirt. I just got him yesterday from the beach. He likes me.
He looks like he could at least run sub 3 minutes.
Yeah, he's a fast turtle.
For an 800. Okay.
I'll put him away now. I feel bad.
Sorry. So next up.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I am going to be a junior next year at Melville High School, and I've been running for 2 years now on the team.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Julia Bell, and I'm going to be a junior next year, and I'm ran for 2 years at Ward Melville so far.
Hi, I'm Brianna Grant. I'm going to be a senior next year at Ward Melville, and I've run for 3 years now at Ward Melville.
I'm at Tom Young's. Been at Ward Melville for 20 years now as the head cross country and track coach. Go Patriots!
All right. Well, I was really looking forward to this interview, and I just following you guys from the fall and the winter. It just seemed like you had a really, really strong team that put together good 4x4s, good 4x8s, good cross country team. Today we're going to try to focus on the 4x8 today, even though there are so many things that we could talk about with you guys. Can you kind of walk us through to run 9:17 with a team that was all going to come back? Is kind of incredible, I thought. What were the expectations going into that winter season? Did you think that was possible? It's such a fast time.
Yeah, so I'll jump in on this and lead the charge. If you don't mind, I'm gonna just go back a little bit further than
Please.
Coming into the indoor season.
Mm-hmm.
The year prior we had a rebuilding mode. Maybe I could use the term reloading. Our teams have established a pretty good, strong team culture over the years. The way I see it, success leads to success. We had just graduated 3 All-Americans on the track who were terrific examples of hard work and dedication. And now this group, was looking to create their own identity. That fall, we were talented but young and experienced. We wound up finishing 4th in our sectional championship. Despite finishing outside of the top 3 that season, we were really laid the foundation for the possibility of really some big things to come. We moved into the indoor season and we just were stacking good weeks on top of good weeks, staying healthy and just getting better as the season progressed. We qualified 2 relays for the state championships, the 4x8 and the 4x4. And then, that was with 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores. We ran 9:19 and we placed 4th at the state meet, which is pretty good in New York.
Yes.
We also qualified, I think it was 4 relays for the national championships at indoor season.
Oh my gosh.
So we got our feet wet in the fall. We built upon that with some depth and some strength, in the indoor season. And then we moved into the outdoor season, which I think was a real big breakthrough, for the 4 of these guys. The confidence was building up. They were racing for each other. They were racing to win. They just weren't racing to compete. That led to, a big win. I think one of their big wins at the Laux games in the 4x8. They ran 9:12. Then a victory at our sectional meet. All right, and then they went on to place seventh. It was at the state championships, running 9:12 again. And in addition to that, Brianna ran the open 8 that day and ran 2:12. So not too bad coming off a double. And again, all pretty young. Just kind of really getting their feet wet still. Top that off. The week later they go down south to the national meet and chop off 7 seconds and wind up finishing 6th, running 9:05.
Oh my gosh!
To be All-Americans. And again, that's 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores there. So we just built off of that. We put the work in over the past summer. And this past fall we picked up a young 8th grader who helped solidify our top 7. We had an outstanding season. We went on to win our sectional meet, and we moved up to the state meet where we finished 6th against, arguably the toughest teams in the country. Moving into this past indoor season in 2020, we had some pretty high goals that we had set for ourselves coming in. I had the task of trying to balance, our individual goals and our team goals, relay goals. That's not always an easy thing to do, especially when you have some of the top runners in the state individually. We didn't really have any big races until maybe like the second week in January, when we opened up at Yale on the 4x8. We did the there. We ran 9:24. Didn't really go in with too high of expectations. We actually 2 days prior we were at the Armory. We ran at the Melrose Games trials. We dropped down and we ran a 4x4. We wound up going 4:04 that night. Coming back 2 days off of that, really, not considering too much what our times are going to be, just really kind of just getting in back into the groove of competing against some big teams. And we went 9:24 that night at Yale. So, that kind of led us, I think 2 weeks later was leading us into the Doc Sanders meet, where we got the invite from Dan Doherty and Tim Fulton at the Armory to be able to race and compete in that prestigious meet, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to let the girls talk about that, but just to be around all the elite athletes and the college athletes that day, and to, just get to rub elbows with them for, a few hours while we're there at the Armory. It's a different aspect when we're there typically racing against just other high school kids. So it was pretty cool, and really, really good experience for them, hopefully. So I'll let them share their thoughts about how the race went.
Yeah, that's great. It sounds like typically Ward Melville, and to run 9:05 last spring, it sounds like this team, and we all lament that we can't be doing this right now, but this team was ready to have that many girls run 9:05 in the spring. You guys were really going to pop off, and to run what eventually I'm hoping to hear from you guys talk about running 9:22 and then 9:17. It sounds like this was certainly going to be a great spring, but it's nice that we have all underclassmen, and that maybe next year we can see you guys fulfill that. Can anyone talk about what Coach was just saying, maybe leading up to Doc Sanders, where you guys won the invitational, a big invitational with collegiate athletes? It's almost all collegiate athletes, I think, to be in that arena, and then walk away with a win in one of the fastest times in the country.
I thought that race we were supposed to go the year before, but we ended up not being able to go because Brianna had the flu. So it was funny, because we knew we could get ourselves there, but it was weird when we actually got there because we expected that we would be able to go, but getting there, it was such a different environment than I think we expected, because there were college kids all around us, pros and everything.
Yeah. And
so the environment was really, I don't know, I think it gave us a drive, and I remember getting really, I think we were all a little nervous for that day, just seeing everybody around us and knowing everybody so fast. And I remember that day, that was my first time leading off. And so I didn't know, like, I don't know. I didn't know, I guess, how to get out and start. But I remember I got out, like, a little too fast just because I was so, like, I was just so excited. Like, it was a really great environment to race in and I think that helped push myself. Like, if it was just a regular meet, I don't think I would have gotten out as fast as I did and then held on. So I think just the environment itself really, really helped us from that time.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys maybe know better than us Jersey folk, but Armory is special, and there's something in the air there. How did you guys feel? That anyone else feel that way? Like it was an exciting day?
Yeah. It was, sorry, Vic, you go.
You can go. It's your birthday. Go.
Hey, it's Brianna's birthday. Where's Brianna on this?
I remember when we first got there, it was like, oh, we're just going to the Armory. It's like a normal day. But then when we actually like got in there and I saw all like the college kids there, and then I saw some like pro runners, and I was like, this is a lot different than what I thought it would be. And I definitely got nervous. And I always get nervous before races, but a race like this definitely, like, I don't know how to, more nervous. I was a lot more nervous. And when I was like warming up with them and we were about to step on the line and we were lining up, we all like, we looked at each other and we knew like we were nervous, but we had that face and we all knew that we were able to do this. And I think like having that motivation to like, not like impress the like college kids and coaches, but like something like that, just having them around definitely pushed us to like do the best that we can. I know for me, when I got that baton, there was a girl right next to me and we were like neck and neck. And normally I get excited in the beginning of the race and I tend to just go for it. But I remember my coach telling me before, when you get out there, just relax, hold on to that spot, and then make your move when you can. So I think it was like at the end of the second lap, I started to make my move. And then at like the 300 mark, I started to really come around her. And when I hit the 200, I just went for it all the way. And that's how that was a really good race for me personally, because I was able to do that and have that in my head, like relax, just wait for it and hold on to that spot and then make your move. And that definitely helped push me at the end.
Very cool. Yeah. Very relatable, exciting, and then trying to be patient, listening to your coach tell you to be patient. Very, very relatable.
Yeah, and I kind of had like a similar experience because like when Emma passed me the baton, she like put me in a really good spot where I was like right next to the leading girl, and like I stayed pretty much behind her, like in contact with her for like a good half of the race, and then like I think the second to last lap, I started to make a move on her, and I remember a lot. I was fighting her definitely, but a lot towards the last lap, I did my best to like create a gap so I could hopefully get into a good spot for my teammates, for Jules when she was gonna get the baton. So that I think I could have maybe built a little more at the end because I remember some girls passing me, but I think I was able to finish in the lead and to give Jules the baton, hopefully a good spot for her to get out well.
Nice.
Yeah. I had like a similar experience kind of to everyone because we always go to the Armory. So like usually I don't really get like too nervous there because it's kind of like one of the places we always race at. So I'm like comfortable there. But for that day, I was so like over like nervous. And like, I just remember like really being really nervous. And then I like saw one of the older girls and she tried to like calm us down and she helped. And then I remember racing and I was just like, I got myself too like nervous that like I was like zoned out during it. Like, cause also Vicky put me in such a great spot and I'm used to not like being in like the best spot. Like usually I like hang on to the girl and then make a kick like at the end. So I kind of gave up the spot a little bit right away. And then I was a little bit like feeling like tired, I guess, because like I was just like all like the adrenaline, I guess, made me like a little bit zoned out. But then I like woke up, I guess, during like the ending, and then I realized like, oh my goodness, I'm in the race. I gotta start pushing, you know. Yeah, and like that's definitely something I need to work on. Like my third lap, usually, but yeah, so it was okay.
That's good. Yeah. Third lap's always the toughest, definitely.
You see my head bobbing the whole time there. We need a snooze alarm for that penultimate lap.
Yeah.
Well, it's a young group.
She did a great job bringing it back on that leg that day. I actually rewatched that the other day. And like Jules said, she kind of fell asleep a little bit and slipped back to like fifth. But by the time she was handing that stick off to Bree, she was back up pretty much neck and neck in the lead there. And that day, like I said, it was, that was like our real first, early test of the season. And I kind of mixed up the order a little bit. Normally we wouldn't go with Emma out front. That was more just to kind of build her confidence that day. Put her in the hot water a little bit, see what she's made of. Yeah, she did a great job, getting us out there, getting the stick around the track and putting her teammates in a good spot, and the same thing, with each of them, just being tough, being gritty. And like I said earlier, these guys, like as young as they are, they've really learned to run for each other. And just understanding that it's bigger than just one person. And, I think that's why we do well year in and year out with our relays, because they're able to buy into that aspect of team. And I think that's something that we pride ourselves on.
That's really cool, yeah. So even just the few minutes being on this call and then the few minutes before, I could tell this was a team that was close and they cared about each other. And doesn't that make such a difference than when you're running an individual 8 or you're running an 8 for your team? You just yeah. You
get that extra rush of adrenaline just to push because you know that they're depending on you. Because I feel like it's sometimes you get in your head in a race and you're and you kind of want to give up, but if you know that there's girls, you have to get the baton to them to be able to finish, to get them in a good spot. It's just, it pushes you so much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, and I think I'm even more nostalgic about it now than I usually am, because we haven't gotten to race. But I just doing it it's just more important to do it for your teammates than to do it for yourself. And you guys exuberate that, I can tell. So great day at the Doc Sanders Invite. You win 922. You're surrounded by college athletes. You're in a big arena. I was hoping to talk a little bit more about maybe you could walk us through the New York State Championship meet too, because then you're one of the best teams. You're one of the best 4x8 teams in the country at this point. What were the expectations going into that race? And running 917 is also a huge day. Could you guys talk a little bit about how that day went down for you? I'll probably throw it to Coach, and then if anyone wants to follow with him, sorry.
Yeah, we have a really unique setup from our section leading into our state championships. We actually run our state qualifier. I want to say this year it was actually 4 weeks before our state meet. So. I mean, I don't really not that these guys, we don't get into it too much, but, obviously we want to do well in the winter. We want to succeed and run some good times and be successful. But, in regards to how I set their season to season up, their entire year, it's really getting them ready for the outdoor season, and so it's really hard for us to try to, not only peak for, I don't like to really use the word peak, but, get ready to run really well at the end of a cross-country season, then do it again at the end of an indoor season, then at the end of the spring season. It's really difficult. And then on top of that, with our indoor season, having to try to run really well at our state qualifier, and then try to duplicate that 4 weeks later, it's a little bit tricky. We got to, try to find whether it's time trials or some other types of meets in between there, to stay sharp and to stay, obviously we're real fit at that point, but just more mentally just staying sharp and being ready to go. and compete against, the likes of Shenandoah, FM, Saratoga, North Rock, and all those teams, like, like national caliber teams that we're going up against at our state. Yeah. So, we after the Doc Sanders meet, we kind of turned our attention to our entire team. We went on to win our league championship meet as a team. It was our first time. I think we did it in 10 years. We had a really well-rounded program this year. On the track, in the field, throws. We had one of our top throwers this year. She qualified for the states in the shot and the weight. She really helped us out this year. So it was more kind of turning it to the larger aspect of the team. And then we got into prepping for our state qualifier, and then our individual efforts. So in addition to our 4x8 making up there, Brianna won the 1,000 coming out of our section, set herself up as one of the top seeds moving into the state. So yeah, we had, we knew the teams that were going to be in there. At the time, we knew that we match up pretty well. But yeah, just like any other race, anything can go. It's just toe the line and give your best. So that's what our attitude was going at.
That's awesome. Yeah, certainly a great day for that 4x8 team. How did you guys feel that day, maybe compared to Doc Sanders, or coming off of that, 4-week break between your qualifier? And that is a long amount of time, and it sounds like you have a really knowledgeable coach bringing you in the right direction. And again, it felt like you guys were going to run really fast in the spring. So again, it's unfortunate it didn't happen, but it felt like you were building to that. But again, how did you guys feel at the state meet that day for indoors?
Before the race, I remember I think we were like really confident there because we had a lot of fun before the race. Like I remember we played that game called
Utter Nonsense.
Yeah.
Because coach knows that I would win, so he brought it.
Yeah, and I feel like that this
I did win.
Really eased our nerves and not made us forget about the race, obviously, but just I don't know, just calmed us down a little bit so we wouldn't get too much into our head, because obviously if we get too much into our head, we wouldn't run as well because it just messes everything up. So I think that fun experience at states really honestly did contribute to us running 5 seconds faster than we did at Doc Sanders, because I felt like it made us happier, and then happier just made us more confident, and that we just knew that we could, especially after winning Doc Sanders at such a high caliber meet, that we could do that. We know that we can do better and we can run faster, and we are much more confident in ourselves to do great at this meet.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Vicky. But I feel like there was two sides to that meet, because going into the state meet, last year we got 4th, right? So we're going in we're older, we're stronger, right? So I think we did definitely put very high expectations on ourselves. So I remember coming out of the race and placing 4th again. And I remember just thinking this is not where we should be. But then looking back, we really did as best as we could. And I think we did have a great race. But I feel like sometimes we do put a little too much pressure on ourselves, and we focus more on the outcome of the race than actually the race itself. So I think that it was a little bit of a letdown, but it wasn't at the same time.
Right before the race, I remember I had the 1,000 earlier in the day, so I had to come into the meet a little bit earlier. Vicky came with me, and I remember warming up for the 1,000 with Vicky, and I was like, I am so nervous right now. I'm so nervous. But she definitely helped calm me down, and warming up calmed my nerves a little bit. And then as soon as I stepped back in there, I was nervous again, but not as nervous. And I knew I can do this. I'll get through it. And then I was we have a fun relay later, so do the best that you can now. And then in the relay, you're just gonna have so much fun. So then when the relay came, we were all warming up together. I wasn't as nervous because I already raced. But we all tried to like keep our minds off of it a little bit and focus on just like warming up, so like step by step. And then when we were lining up, we started talking to other teams a little bit to ease our nerves. Yeah. And when we stepped on the track one by one, as I was watching the race go by, I was like, okay, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. So then when I got that baton, I ran the best that I could with anything that I had left in me. After the 1,000, I pushed until I couldn't push anymore. And I know all these girls did the same too, and they pushed themselves. And I'm really proud of us because we did have a great race. And yeah, I was a little disappointed at the end because we got fourth again. But looking back at it now, I know we did the best that we could. So now we just have next year to look forward to.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what everyone is saying, but they kept telling me to like keep being confident and stuff, and like, but I just always get nervous. So that day was a little bit challenging for me. I definitely cried a bunch of times just because I get really nervous and psych myself out. But overall, like it's also because it's the state meet and it's just like such a big thing. I feel like that like I wanted to be confident because we've been here before, and like I kept trying to tell myself that like I've already done this last year, but it just like didn't help as much as I like needed it to, basically. But definitely talking to other girls on other teams, like Bayshore I think was there, and we're like pretty good friends with all of them. They're really nice to us, so that helped calm us down. But yeah, it was an exciting day, but also at the same time, like placing fourth again kind of got us all upset at first, but just like finishing the race made me happy, and I was still happy because it was a good day for us. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Me and Jules do not handle ourselves well before races at all.
No.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting to hear from you guys. You ran so well, and you got in a race where what your coach was just saying, some like Shenandoah FM, like some of the best teams in the country. You guys are very motivated. You're very and you ran 9:17. Like if I ever had a team run 9:17, I'd be ecstatic. But you guys are all like, well, we're a little disappointed. I just think that's interesting because that's actually it was an incredible day. But you seem hungry, which is good for a team that's all coming back. I can't wait to watch what you guys do next year, man.
I'd have to jump in. I think part of the disappointment is for 2 years in a row, I've made a bet with these guys. Now throughout the winter, I grow this big grizzly beard, like a hipster beard. Just makes up for the lack of what I have going on up top. But for the past 2 years, I made a bet with them. All right, if we get top 3, I'm gonna shave, but just shave half of my beard.
Oh, so, I like that.
That would be so
motivation for them, but they keep coming up short, and I don't know what to tell them. But I don't know what other bets or I can make with them to get them up on. Maybe one more year we'll get it out of them.
Also, just like the state, especially living in New York, I feel like the state meet, our perspective is different than other states because I feel like the competition in New York is so at such a high level. Yeah. So when we're going to like nationals that same season and we're placing like 6th, but then we're going to a state meet and placing like 4th and like only having it a 2-spot difference, like it's like I feel like we expect so much more since it is a more confined meet, but we don't really, I think, process how difficult competition is in New York State. Like it's just so difficult to place really well. Definitely.
Yeah, I think also especially because we verse a bunch of the same teams like in nationals and in New York State, like Shenandoah and I forget their name, the Blue Jerseys.
North Rockland.
Yeah, we verse a bunch of the same teams and see them over again, so we have these high expectations when we go to like state meets or whatever. Because like, we always see them, and we see them at the Armour too and stuff. But like, also when we go to nationals, they're there too, and we place really well. But it's just I think it's just we have expectations for ourselves because we see them all the time.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It's very mature. It's very admirable. That's really cool. You guys, you expect greatness. It sounds like up in New York, and that's really cool. Yeah, it's gonna make you guys a very good team going forward. Well, it's awesome to hear about.
And all that started at the Running Works.
That was so fun. Oh my gosh.
I know.
That was the best camp.
week ever.
That was amazing.
So fun.
I got there. Wait, can I have a story time?
Yeah, go
I
for
got there. I start hysterically crying. Like I'm like, I can't do this. Bree's dad gets out of his truck and he had to like sit me down on like the deck of the cabin. He's like, You're gonna be fine. You're just gonna stay, whatever. It was the best week of my life, but like I get there, I start hysterically crying. Like I can't survive like a week by myself. I don't even know. And then it turned out being the best week ever. It was just so funny.
It happens to a lot of kids. You'd be surprised. A lot of times, you go away to like a friend's house for a few days, but to be physically away from your family, especially in an area where you may not get service, to even talk to your family for a week.
Yeah.
I think it's most difficult.
But also, like, we still talk to our cabin girls. Like, we were talking to them today. Like, we have a group chat for, like, Cabin 9, and we talk to them, like, all the time. Like, we never lost touch. Like, they're, like, our best friends now. And it's
awesome.
so funny that we've lived with this girls for 1 week, and now we're, like, best friends. It's, like, so nice.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I miss it. I really do. And
It's so sad.
I know. And just bringing you guys on and other teams on, it's just we're just hoping to kind of like let you guys be able to see each other a little more, and it's just I don't know, we're upset about it too. So, but yeah, it's really nice to hear that you really liked camp at least. So I'd love to wrap up like what happened maybe after the New York State meet and what you guys are up to right now. But I think before, I'd really like to play this game of Kahoot. So if anyone's watching, we sent out a survey and we asked the girls questions and they responded. And then Sam created this Kahoot game, and we're gonna test all of these athletes and coach and see who knows each other best. Sam is our jack of all trades.
That's why I'm really here.
Well,
no, but before we play the Kahoot game, I only could get 9 questions in because you all had the same answer for one of the questions.
Oh,
Which
insane.
the question was what you guys were going to miss most.
I thought it would be that.
And you pretty much all put like the same exact thing. So, which I thought was really sweet. But
oh, and also if you want a teammate to play the Kahoot game, you should text them now. Sam is gonna show the password.
Somebody text you.
Someone text.
Not to answer text, so can I like call her quickly?
Yeah, call her because I'm.
Wait, so Zoe just texted me that they're a
so can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh.
Can we do this on our phone?
Okay.
Yep. You just have to go to Kahoot.it or you enter
186. You guys are going on. Yeah.
I told Dewey to join so she can play Kahoot.
Lexi and Caitlin are right next to me and they're playing.
okay. Are these
So
Ward Melville
They're there.
teammates?
Yeah, they're right here. Here,
Let's
guys.
go. What's going on, guys?
They're runners also.
Best of luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
I'll play.
Okay, I'll do that now. Oh, that's not. Sorry, that's where it is on my phone. 6. What is it? Where is it?
It's all the way down.
That one is the one under it.
It's just like the team.
Is
that's that one.
is Kate Aaron one of your cabin mates?
Oh my God, Kate! Yes, we love Kate. Kate is the best ever.
I love Kate.
You guys are so
She
nice.
let me wear her Hawaiian shirt for the talent show, so Kate is just the best in the world.
Well, she just said hi on the feed, and
I love
Kate. If you're still watching, you want to guess along, I think that'd probably be alright too.
Oh, guys. Shit. Guys, come next to me. Because then you can see the questions.
So is this everybody or are we waiting on anybody else?
Junie's confused on how to join, so I think
she's never gonna figure it out. It's Junie.
I'm gonna give up on
just
her.
let her watch. She's her own creature.
Do you guys use Kahoot at your high school?
Yeah, we do, but she's just special. But she's like my best friend, so it's fine. I can say that.
How is she confused on how to join?
Because it's Julie.
It's like she's
with her dog.
Is she on the live stream? Because maybe that's why. Maybe she doesn't know it.
She just said I'm confused.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
No, that was on the other. No, she texted that on the other group chat. That's not even. That was what I texted.
Yeah. So the only if you are trying, well, you girls, and coach will see my screen, so you'll get the questions right away. If they're watching it from the live stream, they're going to be behind some seconds, so they're not going to see everything until the clock has already been running.
Okay. So a little disadvantage, but
look at my text. Look at my text. Wait, I'm on Laura's phone, by the way, so that's why.
That's why that's happening.
Oh,
yeah.
I was so confused.
Did you just go? Oh yeah, I'm on Laura's phone.
Where's Laura?
I brought Laura over after. We drove by the house. I brought Laura over to see my turtle, and then I just didn't let her leave. So, Laura's another one of our teammates, by the way.
Is she there?
Where's Laura? Yeah, she's. Wait, can you see this?
Insane. Laura. Caitlin,
why do we have so many teammates on camera? We have
Caitlin and Lexi are here too.
Lexi and Laura. We have like 7 on at the same time.
Yeah. Party.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Wait.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know anything about it, honestly. We can move it for a very long time.
Gosh.
We can move it for a very long time.
Oh, damn, I think I clicked the wrong one.
I don't know.
This is the question.
I'm just.
I have to be on the live stream.
No, I don't know. I just clicked it. Because she just goes, oh, God.
Yeah!
Oh, dang.
Mm-hmm. You guys should see me sometime. Pretty good.
Yeah, nobody guessed Vicky. Vicky's just not a cool
you guys know me.
I tried to think of something you guys don't know. It was about musical. What is Oh. Nico's pizza, tacos, pasta, or bagels.
Okay.
Well, Vicky's favorite food is bagels, fun fact.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I think
Colored bagel girl.
Let's hope.
No, you don't.
Yes, you remember when it was your birthday and I was like, no, it was National Bagel Day, and I was like, Happy National Bagel Day.
Yes, I got it. Dang, I got it.
Guys, I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, guys.
Brianna, do you have a birthday dinner for your like a favorite food?
You guys are chicken. No, don't add on this piece. Steak wrapped with bacon.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
Who's Jim Carrey's to be?
Oh, I know this.
I know this. I said that out loud. Oh, I know who this is. This is obvious.
It's so easy. That was the worst.
You guys are good teammates.
Mechatronics. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Mechatronics.
I like Attack.
Wait for me to be richer than all of you.
No.
Yes. Be richer than all of you.
Battery's on 69%.
Emma,
what time? Oh, yay.
Do you know what kind, Vicky?
This is pretty good, guys.
Oh, I don't know yet.
You'll figure it out? Cool.
So far ahead.
Miss Jerem. Yeah. Please describe the cross country court of your Quinlan as
I know that.
Oh, come on. I know who
Emma, you lies. Great lies. Inaccurate. I don't agree.
Oh, everybody got that.
Oh my god.
You guys are good teammates.
I always race good there.
It's so hilly, Emma.
Go please for me.
I do.
So
It's
fun.
fun. I love
Let's
hills.
see.
Hills are the best.
Nothing but hills.
It's so good.
Park though, like that's a fantastic course.
It's so awesome. And it's like gritty.
It's
And I love hills.
Yes, it's
And I
hilly,
always end up
but
doing
it's a
okay.
good course.
Mm.
Oh my god. My turtle doesn't see the glass. It's just trying to get in.